So I've been on a bit of a horror and thriller movie kind of kick recently. Coming off the pandemic, I've watched every single movie that exists. So I watched a couple new ones recently. Figured I'd talk about them. I watched, first of all, Wrong Turn, 2021. I don't know if this is a reboot or a remake of Wrong Turn, but if I'm being honest, I didn't see the other Wrong Turn, and I think there's 4 or 5 of them. But I don't know if this is based on that. So this movie is, it's fun. I liked it. When they're going through the forest and the deaths are happening with like the logs rolling down and stuff like that, I thought it was a fun way to pick off a group of friends. That kind of trope's been done so many times. So the idea that it's not like one person, in the forest tracking them down or something, but it's stuff they've done within the forest. I don't know. It was fun. The deaths were fun to watch, and I love that about a movie. The quality was good. The acting was pretty good, considering that this is this kind of movie. The turn it takes, I don't know if that's if you've seen the first Wrong Turn, if it's not that surprising of a turn where it's these wilderness people and they in fact see the teenagers as the bad guys, even though the teenagers see them as the bad guys. That was painfully obvious to me early on, but it didn't ruin anything. There's a few monologues in here by I'm going to just keep calling them bush people, for lack of a better phrase, because I'm just off the cuff here. But by the bush people, they do these monologues, about, who's the true monsters with us out here with our capitalism and them in there sharing everything. So it feels like it has a pro-socialism message. I could care less about that stuff. But the reason I bring it up is because the movie also is confusing about that message, because the monologues, the words within the monologue seem to imply that the writers and director of this movie agree that their society is better, but then the way it plays out in the movie, their society is clearly worse. So it's confusing messaging. I'm not sure what they were trying to say is the better society. So I found that interesting. One thing I really liked about this was the punishment that the bush people give to, within their society. Their quote-unquote jail term is defined by the darkness. They call it the darkness, and that's where they cut out your eyes, burn your ears, and cut out your tongue. And there's this scene when it's a bunch of people who have been, sentenced to this, and they're just in this, quite literal hell, where all they can do is walk around touching the walls, eating rats. And if you really think about that, no sight, no hearing, not being able to speak, and just in this group of people forever. That's quite a sentence. So I thought that was really cool. Anyway, Wrong Turn was fun. I liked it. You should watch it. It's not a good movie, but why you wouldn't turn this on thinking, what a film I'm about to see. If you like this kind of stuff where there's a group of kids and they get killed and there's people that chase them down and there's some gore, you'll enjoy this. It moves quick. And, that's one of the best things I can say about a movie is when it feels like it moves quick. So I would, in this genre, I would give this like a 7 out of 10. And it was really enjoyable. Moving on to another movie I saw, which was BloodFest. I hadn't heard anything about this movie. I just saw it on, I think it was on Prime. I can't remember now. But anyway, I almost didn't watch it because the leads were, 15-year-olds. And I guess I'm aging out of that, where I enjoy that as my protagonist, but I watched it. Right off the bat, this movie has the right idea. The theme is smart and could have been done well. The idea that this group of kids is going to this thing called BloodFest, which is essentially a festival of all things horror, with a theme park set up like a Disney World with different areas of like zombie area and this, whatever area, slasher area, etc., etc. Let me just say, first of all, I would go to this in a heartbeat. How fun would that be? Oh man, I hope somebody does create this. I would go there immediately. But anyway, so the idea is, this becomes real, and these kids have to travel throughout these different areas, and within each area, they're tackling the tropes, tongue-in-cheek, of the genre. Now, the only reason I know that is because they say it a lot. They don't show it a lot, and they don't do it in a creative way. And I was watching the whole time going, this is so the right idea, but you guys aren't pulling it off. Especially what's ironic is how tropey this movie is in itself. There's a lot of setup, joke, setup, joke. You know, where I don't know. It just didn't work, and I could see in every scene what was supposed to be funny, what was supposed to be cute about it, but it wasn't hitting. It didn't land for me, and it was really disappointing in that sense. As well, the gore is pretty weak. I thought they had a good opportunity to be a tropey gore movie. You know, like, why not go full gross out with it? Because that's fun, and this movie was trying to have a fun tone. But it was just a lot of CGI blood and stuff like that. Maybe it was a budget issue, but I don't know. I thought they could have had some fun with it. BloodFest was okay. It was slow at times. It was way too obvious. It wasn't tense. It wasn't funny. So I don't know what it was, except for I know what it was going for. So props to that. But I would give it 5 out of 10. I honestly don't even think it's worth watching unless you want to sit there and just say to whoever you're watching it with, like I did, oh man, it would be so fun to go to a BloodFest. So anyway, that's that. I don't know. Go away.